Severe weather then and now on KFDX is brought to you by First National Bank and Vernon College.
Well, tornadoes haven't changed over the last 70 years, but some of the ways we protect ourselves from them have. This week, Michael Bowling takes a look at tornado safety then and now.
There is plenty of outdated advice when it comes to tornado safety, like the idea of getting into a certain corner of the house. But I asked Rick Smith, the warning coordination meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Norman, what is some of the worst old advice?
Yeah, it's amazing to look back at the history of tornado safety and some of the advice that we used to give people. Probably the one that really jumps out is the idea that you needed to open windows and doors as a tornado was approaching.
The thought here was that this would allow for pressure changes to balance out more easily and stop the low pressure of the tornado from causing the house to explode. Not only is this advice not helpful, but it is actually bad advice.
Really, that can even make matters worse. When you look at how the winds get into a structure in a tornado, a lot of times what will happen that causes damage is a window gets broken, a garage door gets blown in, and once that air gets in the structure, it lifts the roof off, and then that's how most of the damage happens.
There was also some old advice for vehicles that the Weather Service no longer gives out.
We used to give advice on specific instructions of how to drive away. Drive at right angles to the tornado's path, which to me was always confusing.
We have a history with some attempting to drive away from a tornado. Is there ever an instance when that's recommended?
We don't want people to be in a mobile home in a tornado. So what are they supposed to do? So the advice we give for driving away now is if you have to do it, you can't wait for the warning. You have to do it earlier.
Earlier, as when the watch is issued, not the warning. To best understand how tornado safety has changed, you have to know how a tornado can harm you.
That the goal of tornado safety is to get you as far away from the tornado winds as possible. It's not the tornado itself that's going to hurt you. It's what's in the tornado. It's the flying and falling debris, things as small as a piece of gravel, things as large as a piece of a house, flying through the air at a high rate of speed.
One thing hasn't changed over the years, and that's the safest place to be in a storm.
So the best place to be is to be underground, in an underground storm shelter. There's lots of old school storm shelters still around the area, Frady holes, people call them in some areas.
But if you don't have an underground storm shelter, there is now another option.
Almost tied with that, though, is now these engineered safe rooms that are above ground structures that are concrete and steel. They're anchored down, and they provide pretty much the same protection as an underground shelter if they're installed correctly.
With all of the changes to advice, what should someone do if they get caught in a vehicle?
People never like the answer, but the answer is don't be in your car if there's a tornado. One advantage over the last 70 years, certainly, and even the last 20 years, is much better forecast, much better weather information. Your best defense about having to make that decision is to pay attention to the weather.
That was Michael Bowling reporting. Smith's biggest piece of advice that families can do right now is to sit down and make a plan. He said it doesn't take long, just 5 minutes to figure out where and how to keep your family safe.